Good morning, beautiful people. Marie Alessi here with the concept of surrender. Lately, I have noticed that the energy around us was really quite dense. And every time when somebody asked me how I was going, I said, I'm okay. And I really meant okay, but I usually strive for great or having a really awesome day and not just okay. And it was not in a bad way and it was not in a good way. It was a very neutral, bizarre feeling of okay. And I always added that the time has been really intense. For a couple of weeks, I felt a really, really intense time, and there was no particular reason. Nothing major happened, nothing out of the norm. It was just a really, really intense time. And a few things happened where I really practiced the concept of surrender, and I felt instant peace. I felt instant relief and instant flow. And that's why I wanted to talk to you about that today. When I first heard the word surrender, and I'm saying first heard because English is not my first language, as most of you know, and there were a few words when they first came to me where I had to really familiarize myself with the concept first of what that word actually really means. And the word surrender to me was always used in a rather negative setting when I first heard about it. So it was in the context of giving up, in a sense of war or fight or anything like that. The giving up, giving in. And it had always that giving up and resigning sort of feel to it when I used that word. And then the more I stepped into the world of self development and learned to really sit with emotions and learn about my emotions and allow them in and allow them to be seen and acknowledged and healed if there was healing necessary, the more I understood that the concept of surrender can have a really positive and beautiful and healing effect in our life. And last week, or 2 weeks ago, meanwhile, I had planned to start my next intake of the Blank Canvas program. And I was really pleased to see that there were over 30 people that had booked a call with me to talk about it. And interestingly enough, I had a whole week booked full of calls. People wanted to hear about the program, wanted to talk about it, wanted to see how that would enhance their life right now, enhance their healing right now. And there was a lot of interest and a lot of people that were like, wow, that sounds like exactly what I need, but not now. Every phone call was, but not now. Can I do the one in July? And I was like, sure. I am not one to push anyone. I am one to open the doors, and if it fits right for you, you come in, and if not, that's fine. And some want to stand in front of the door and watch a little bit what's going on inside there before they'll allow themselves to come in. So, in a nutshell, I had one person paying full for the program that was so ready to rock and roll because she was actually ready, sort of ready for the last one, and then said, no, I'd rather wait for the next one, exactly the same thing. And now the poor thing, she has to wait for another 2 months before the next program starts because I literally got into this, I just surrender. I didn't stop, I didn't push, I just surrendered. I kept going with the calls that were booked, I kept talking to people about it, yet I surrendered that the perfect outcome would happen. And here's what happened. I want to share this with you because it is personal to me, but it is also such a beautiful lesson for you guys. What happened? I let go of the thought that I have to fill this course because of the one lady that is already waiting, and I let go of the thought that it has to happen now. And I usually take between 5 and 7 people for the Blank Canvas program, and now I have 9 people waiting for the July program. So we'll make a decision on the spot. If we get enough, we can split it into 2 courses and I can run 2 parallel, but this is not what this session is about here. I really want to share with you about the concept of surrender. So I have 9 people waiting for the one in July, And the one person that was waiting for this one, I actually shared it with her, and she said, you know what? Even though I'm disappointed and even though I really wanted to do this one, I think the timing is perfect for me because I'm in the process of moving and looking for a new house. So by then, I hopefully have my new house. And when I do the blank canvas program where we go into creation, I can actually create in my new place, and that is perfect. So I was so happy to hear that because what happened in my own life after that was that I realized there was so much for me that I had to focus on right now, and that I really needed undivided attention. I, myself, my life needs undivided attention right now, and it couldn't have come at a better time to postpone that to the next intake, which is in July. So, what happened is I have dedicated all my time and my efforts in finalizing my own house, my own space, because I have set myself the timeline, the 12th of June, which is Rob's passing day. It will be the third year anniversary, to finish off the house. And I have been going in leaps and bounds. That's the exact perfect word or wording to describe what's been happening. And I am literally almost done. I have also, for the really tough parts, hired a decluttering lady who has been phenomenal in supporting me through that process on an emotional and physical level. And she's actually coming in half an hour. So I said, come after my life. I still don't want to miss out on my life on a Monday morning. I do love touching base with you. I do love sharing my story with you, because little did I know when I shared my story about decluttering, I thought, should I even share that in this group? I'm not sure. And I had so many people reach out and thank me for that and say, I really needed to hear this. I felt stuck with this. I felt I couldn't move forward. And, there's this, again, the concept of surrender came in quite strongly when it comes to the decluttering my house. This is, oh my goodness. I'm going to show this to you. I have to turn my computer around because my cat, can you see this? Is hanging out there like a bat wanting to climb in. This is hilarious. Anyway, I'm not really sure if you could see that. But so the concept of surrender came in when it came to my house. There were many times where I felt like pushing, where I felt like I'm not doing this fast enough. I'm still not finished. And it is something that Rob and I had planned to do together. And the office where I'm sitting here used to be our garage, and it was full of Rob's stuff. And we had planned a whole week to take time off together, to have time together to completely declutter the house. When you have lived in a house for 10, 15 years at the time, I think it was about 10 years that we had lived in a house, you really need to go through a few things. You really need to go from top to bottom and see, like, what are the things that we don't need anymore? What are the things that we can let go of? Again, the concept of surrender, letting go, is just such a beautiful and peaceful and healing and clearing and light concept. Really, it brings so much lightness in. And we wanted to do that together the whole week, just clearing out the garage, clearing out our cupboards, things that we've been holding on for many years. The underneath the stairwell was completely chock-a-block full with boxes of stuff that we hadn't even looked at since we moved into the house. Who else has got a corner like that? I know a lot of people have got that one corner in their house. For us, it was underneath the stairwell. So in a nutshell, Rob passed 4 days before we could have that week together, and everything was left behind for me. And at first I felt complete overwhelm. I thought, how on earth am I ever going to get through this? And it felt like walking through mud at first, like really heavy. And I felt so much resistance. I just could not bring myself to get started. It took me almost a year to actually start the decluttering process. I just left things as they were. I just tried to, and exactly that's the thing, I tried to stay on top of things, and my house went into more and more chaos state. And I could feel how that was literally suffocating me emotionally, and I could not really handle that chaos around me. Yet I also um, didn't have the strength, and I was emotionally not ready to face all the stuff on my own. I knew that everything that we were ready to get rid of now had emotional attachment, and I needed to allow allow that process of feeling ready to let go of things, feeling ready to sort through stuff, to go through all of Rob's stuff. So bit by bit, and that process bit by bit took me almost 2 years. I went through Rob's things, through the garage, which was almost only Rob's stuff, and I had his brothers helping me with that, which was really lovely. And yeah, I just want to say to you, when you're not ready to face something on your own, allow help in. Choose the right people. Choose the people that are supportive of what you do, not judgmental of the state of your house, because this is what you want to achieve. You want to clear things out. You want to create lightness. You want to let go of the things that are weighing you down, that are not serving you any longer, and also find ways to spread joy and love to those who would really appreciate those things. There were a lot of things that I gave to his family where I thought, I'm not really sure what to do with that, but I know that they will appreciate it, that they will value it. Like I had 2 massive toolboxes, or 3 even, full of tools that I don't even know how to use. Rob used to be a mechanic by trade, and both his brothers still work in the car industry. So I know that they will appreciate it. I know that they will use it. I have got no use for it. And I'm fairly certain that neither of my boys will go in the auto industry. At least it doesn't look like right now. Who knows? But fact is, where do you hold on to things that are causing you pain? Where can you let go of things? Where can you surrender? My favorite go-to is to surrender into love. Love is like this eternal power source all around us. It heals us, it holds us, it cradles us when we need it. And I have learned more and more through my own healing journey and through running this global movement here, through working with you guys, that the concept of surrender is something so beautiful and so powerful and so smooth, that when we go into surrender, that when we surrender into love, that we're always looked after, we're taken care of, we are so protected in love, that this is something I just really enjoy surrendering into. And it has brought me so much lightness and so much flow in my life, that all of a sudden this really beautiful flow started happening everywhere in my life. It affected every single area in my life. And when I walk through my house now, I feel so much lightness and I feel so much joy, having created what we always wanted to create together: lightness, cleanliness, just always making sure that our house is a home full of love, where it's cozy and people feel happy to come to. And this is what I've created now. So I've got a few girls come over this weekend, so it's another really good deadline for me to work towards, because I literally want their jaws to drop when they walk in, because they've seen me at my best and they've seen me at my worst. So they know my house clean and they know my house in absolute chaos. But what I have created now is a clearing and a cleansing that is beyond anything that this house has ever seen. And I really needed that. There were a lot of emotions in this house, and I could feel the knock-on effect it had. My little one is a huge empath. And he woke up this morning crying. And I said, did something happen? Did you have a dream about dad? He said, no. I said, what is it? Why are you crying? And he said, oh, Mum, I just feel this heaviness in my chest. And I knew it was emotions. It was so many emotions that came up through all like we literally emptied the hall underneath the staircase yesterday, and there were like 15 boxes, and we went through all of that. There were a lot of emotions, things from our wedding still, and childhood things, and I could feel that. I could feel the emotions. I could feel the energy in our house, and he picked it all up. He woke up with this heaviness and he cried it all out, and I just held him. I read the most beautiful post about filling our love tanks and being in the moment. And for those of you who haven't heard about the 5 love languages yet, please do yourself a favor and Google it, the number 5 and then lovelanguages.com. You can go on the website. There's a beautiful test that you can do, and it describes the different love languages that people have. In other words, how do you feel loved the most? For some, that's through physical touch, through being held. For others, that's words of affirmations. There's quality time. There's gifts. There's acts of services. Have a look at it. It is just so beautiful. For me, it is definitely physical touch and quality time. And I know that my little one's love language is physical touch. So I just sat with him and held him and literally imagined filling up his love tank until he felt safe again, until he felt so safe and held and loved. And that was another moment of surrender, surrendering into the moment and not keep on pushing. Oh, he has to go to school and we have to get ready. And I literally thought, I know he had a few days of school this year already for similar reasons, yet this is also his healing journey. And for me, in that moment, when I think about, am I doing the right thing or not, I always take it that way. In a few years' time, looking back now, would it be more important that I pushed him to go to school? Or would it be more important to be there for him and hold him in love, wrap him in love and make him feel safe and tell him that it is okay and that I'm here for him? The concept of surrender. Surrender into love. It is the most beautiful way of healing and of getting into the flow and of living your life. I'd love to hear a comment. Leave me a comment below what you think about that concept of surrender, how you feel about surrendering into love, and what is holding you back, what's standing in your way right now. And for those of you watching this on YouTube, click the subscribe button so you can get the notification whenever my next live comes up. I'm sending you so much love for this week ahead. This is Marie signing off.